The Blue Dog Coalition, commonly known as the Blue Dogs or Blue Dog Democrats, is a caucus of United States congressional representatives from the Democratic Party who identify themselves as conservative Democrats. It was formed in 1995 during the 104th Congress to give more conservative members from the Democratic Party a unified voice after the Democrats' loss of Congress in the U.S. congressional election of 1994. Blue Dog Coalition membership experienced a rapid decline in the 2010s, holding 15 seats in the 114th Congress. History. Founding members were Glenn Browder and Bud Cramer of Alabama, Blanche Lambert Lincoln of Arkansas, Gary Condit of California, Nathan Deal of Georgia, William Lipinski of Illinois, Scotty Basilar of Kentucky, Billy Tauzin and Jimmy Hayes of Louisiana, Colin Peterson and David Minge of Minnesota, Michael Parker and Gene Taylor of Mississippi, Pat Dana of Missouri, William K. Brewster of Oklahoma, John S. Tanner of Tennessee, Ralph Hall, Charles Stoneham, Pete Geron and Greg Laughlin of Texas, Bill Orton of Utah, and Louis F. Payne, Jr. and Owen Pickett of Virginia. Condit and Deal were co-chairmen. Browder headed the group's budget task force. The term Blue Dog Democrat is credited to Texas Democratic Representative Pete Geron. Geron opined that the members had been choked blue by Democrats on the left. It is related to the political term Yellow Dog Democrat, a reference to Southern Democrats said to be so loyal they would even vote for a yellow dog if it were labeled Democrat. The term is also a reference to the blue dog paintings of Cajun artist George Rodrigue of Lafayette, Louisiana, as the original members of the coalition would regularly meet in the offices of Louisiana Representatives Billy Tauzin and Jimmy Hayes, both of whom later joined the Republican Party. Both had Rodrigue's paintings on their walls. An additional explanation for the term cited by members is, when dogs are not let into the house, they stay outside in the cold and turn blue, a reference to the Blue Dogs' belief they had been left out of a party that they believed had shifted to the political left. Although its membership is not exclusively Southern, some view the Blue Dogs as the political successors to a now-defunct in-name Southern Democratic group known as the Boll Weevils, who played a critical role in the early 1980s by supporting President Ronald Reagan's tax cut plan. The Boll Weevils, in turn, may be considered the descendants of the Dixiecrats and the states' rights Democrats of the 1940s through the 1960s, and even the Bourbon Democrats of the late 19th century. The coalition was notably successful in a special election of February 2004 in Kentucky to fill a vacant seat in the House of Representatives. They were also successful in the November 2004 elections, when 3 of the 5 races in which a Democrat won a formerly Republican House seat were won by Blue Dogs. In 2005, the members of the Blue Dog Coalition voted 32-4 in favor of the bill to limit access to bankruptcy protection. While the Blue Dog Coalition is made up of House members, the term Blue Dog is sometimes used informally for Democratic senators, governors, or state legislators who resemble the Blue Dog Coalition positions based on their politics. Recent such senators include Ben Nelson and Joe Manchin. 110th Congress in 2006, Blue Dog candidates such as Jason Altmaier, Heath Shuler and Brad Ellsworth were elected in conservative-leaning districts, ending years of Republican dominance in these areas. In 2007, 15 Blue Dog Coalition members in safe seats refused to contribute party dues to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. An additional 16 Blue Dogs have not paid any money to the DCCC but were exempt from party-mandated contributions because they were top GOP targets for defeat in 2008. One reason for the party dues boycott is contained in remarks made by Representative Lynn Woolsey encouraging leaders of anti-war groups to field primary challenges to any Democrat who does not vote to end the war in Iraq. Woolsey later stated that she was misunderstood, but the Blue Dogs have continued with the boycott. Donations to party congressional committees are an important source of funding for the party committees, permitting millions of dollars to be funneled back into close races. 111th Congress in the summer of 2009, The Economist magazine said, "He debate over health care may be the pinnacle of the group's power so far, and quoted Charlie Stoneham, a founding Blue Dog, as saying that this is the first year for the new kennel in which their votes are really going to make a difference. 112th Congress The Blue Dog Coalition suffered serious losses in the 2010 midterm elections, losing over half of his seats to Republican challengers. Its members, who comprised roughly one-quarter of the Democratic Party's caucus in the 111th Congress, accounted for half of the party's midterm election losses. Including retirements, Blue Dog numbers in the House were reduced from 54 members in 2008 to 26 members in 2010, and two of the coalition's four leaders failed to secure re-election. 113th Congress Opposition to the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act and climate change legislation are believed to have contributed to the defeat of two conservative Democrats in the United States House of Representatives elections in Pennsylvania, 2012 by more liberal opponents. Following the 2012 House of Representatives elections, the Blue Dog Coalition went from 27 members to 14 members. Speculation ensued that the centrist New Democrat coalition would fill the power vacuum created by the Blue Dog Coalition's decline. 114th Congress Four members of the Blue Dog Coalition were defeated by Republicans in the 2014 House elections and three others stepped down from office. The Blue Dog Coalition experienced a net loss of 5 members and its membership totaled 14 when the 114th Congress took office on January 3, 2015. Ideology: the Blue Dog Coalition is often involved in searching for a compromise between liberal and conservative positions. The Blue Dogs are a continuation of the socially conservative wing of the Democratic Party. Despite the Blue Dogs' differing degrees of economic and social conservatism, they claim they generally work to promote positions within the House of Representatives that bridge the gap between right-wing and left-wing politics. Blue Dogs are an important swing vote on spending bills and as a result have gained influence in Congress out of proportion to their numbers. They are frequently sought after to broker compromises between the Democratic and Republican leadership, generally lending a more centrist character to U.S. politics. Funding: the biggest single source of finance for the Blue Dog Political Action Committee is the healthcare industry, which donated $1.2 million in the 2009-10 election cycle. In July 2009, Blue Dog members who were committee members of the House Energy and Commerce Committee successfully delayed the House vote on the health insurance reform bill until after the summer recess. It was during this recess that the term Obamacare was first derisively adopted by Republicans on Capitol Hill. It is widely proposed that Blue Dog opposition to the public option, and this recess, with that summer's contentious town hall meetings, provided the health care law's Republican opponents the opportunity to attack and subsequently get the public option dropped from the original, pre-recess, bill. Political relationships. New Democrat Coalition Members of the New Democrat Coalition, an affiliate of the Democratic Leadership Council, take moderate or liberal positions on social issues and moderate positions on economic issues and trade. The DLC aims to revitalize and strengthen the Democratic Party, while the Blue Dogs emphasize bipartisanship. Democrats who identify with the Blue Dogs tend to be more conservative on social issues than New Democrats. Reflecting the group's Southern roots, many Blue Dogs are strong supporters of gun rights and receive high ratings from the National Rifle Association. Some have pro-life voting records, and some get high ratings from immigration reduction groups and from the insurance industry. They supported the Republican and corporate-backed Bankruptcy Reform Act of 2005. As a caucus, however, Blue Dogs have never agreed on, or taken, a formal position on these issues, and some members may favor more socially liberal platforms. On economic issues, Blue Dogs tend to be pro-business, favoring lower corporate tax rates, limiting public welfare spending and reducing Social Security benefits. Individually, however, both New Democrats and Blue Dogs may have differing positions on trade issues, and they include both supporters and strong critics of labor unions, protectionism, and free trade. Some Democrats are members of both the Blue Dog Coalition and the New Democratic Coalition, as was former Representative Gabrielle Giffords of Arizona. Liberals Some in the Democratic Party's liberal wing promote primary challenges against Blue Dog Coalition members in an effort to unseat Democratic Party members they view as unreliable or too conservative. The editors of the left-wing weblog Open Left refer to Blue Dog Democrats who voted for war funding in May 2007 and voted to grant the executive branch warrantless wiretapping powers as Bush Dogs. Others in the party view these individuals as Republicans in Democrats' clothing. Membership. Blue Dog membership was nearly cut in half by the 2010 election, in which 26 members were re-elected but 28 were either defeated or chose not to run for re-election. Blue Dog membership was nearly cut in half again for the 113th Congress. Of the 27 Blue Dogs, 3 resigned, while 10 chose not to run for re-election or were defeated. Of the remaining 14 members, Adam Schiff left the coalition, but Pete Gallego, Kyrsten Sinema, Ron Barber, Nick Rahall, Dan Lipinski, and Tree Bustos joined them for the 113th Congress. Freshman Blue Dogs in the House are sometimes nicknamed Blue Pups. Members for the 114th Congress 2014 election 2012 election members who resigned in 112th Congress Dennis Cardoza, resigned in 2012, Gabrielle Giffords, retired from the House in January 2012 to recover from injuries sustained in 2011 Tucson shooting, Jane Harmon, resigned in 2011. Members who did not run for House re-election in 2010 Robert Marion Berry, Brad Ellsworth, Bart Gordon, Charlie Melanchon, Blue Dog co-chair for communications, Dennis Moore, John Tanner. Members defeated in 2010 election 2008 election 2006 election 2004 election 2002 election 2000 election 1998 election 1996 election appointed or elected to another office died in office left the Blue Dog Coalition Adam Schiff, Steve Israel became a Republican applied to join but was rejected Nancy Boyder, unable to join in 2007 due to the Blue Dog membership limit. See also, Conservative Democrat, Democratic Freedom Caucus, Democrat in name only, Dixiecrat, factions in the Democratic Party, Jeffersonian Democracy, Libertarian Democrat, New Democrat Coalition, Red Tory, Republican Main Street Partnership, Yellow Dog Democrat, a person who will vote for any Democratic candidate. References. External links, Blue Dog Coalition homepage, C-SPAN article by Ilona Nichols on Blue Dogs, right-leaning Blue Dogs lose seats in 2010 election, video report by Democracy Now!